Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another seasonal match. It's an honor to be here. Absolutely, it's an honor to be here. What game are we watching tonight? We are going to be watching 82 AD versus ITK. That's a mostly European 82 AD versus ITK, which is a Chinese clan. Look, I'm excited. They're going to be playing on SMDM. What are we? 82 AD are going to be the allies. But you know what? I could keep talking. What I'm not going to do is keep talking because you guys know I always bring you the best co-casters, right? I always bring you the best humans in the world. Today is no exception. And I'm not going to lie, I feel a little bit outranked because that, ladies and gentlemen, is MrNitro. Seasonal man himself, Nitro. How the fuck are you?
Trauma Stew, hello. I'm doing fantastic this morning. Thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be here. This is going to be an exciting game, we're hoping. SMDM is always going to be a great map. It's a great map, going to lead to some great matches. And no, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for the invite. Thank you for the kind words.
Oh,
And,
no, dude. I 100% feel a little bit outranked. Cheers. Well, you've got
cheers to
coffee.
you.
I've got beverages. I feel like I probably should have had more coffee. But what are we going to do?
Look, it's different times of day. We're in different parts of the world. Stu, what time is it where you are at the moment?
What are we? The match is going to start at 11 o'clock. So everyone's going to see this half an hour later because timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly bullshit.
That's true. So for me, that match start time is 6:30 in the morning with that 30-minute delay. But we're feeling good. We're wide awake and ready for a good time, as always.
You're doing far better than I would be at that hour in the morning. Before we get too much further, I always have one of my mods hanging around as special comments. Today is no different. Winchelson, welcome. Pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me, good sir.
Absolutely my pleasure. So Winch will be modding chat, doing all that, whatever Twitch mods do. Those guys look after me and I trust them. Listen to what they say because they'll try and run the chat a little bit. But today, 82nd AD, one hell of a clan, and ITK. That is two massive teams in the international Hell Let Loose scene. Nitro, what do you know about some of these teams and what are we looking forward to seeing a little bit from them today?
Yeah, well, 82nd AD, we'll start with them, have been around for quite some time. They're a very well-established clan in the Hell Let Loose community. They played in many seasonals before. We've seen them go pretty far in past editions. And for this stage in the tournament, we've seen them make some pretty good progress. They had a tough matchup in Week 1 against WTH. Anytime you go against WTH, that's going to be a tough matchup. They did not come out on top in that match. So they did drop to the middle bracket for Week 2. Now, they did overcome their next opponent in the middle bracket. That was BC. They came out on top. And here we are in Week 3. They're going to be playing ITK for a spot in the final for the middle bracket. Now, ITK is a Chinese team. This is their first appearance in Seasonal. And they've had a pretty good showing for their first run. They did beat STDB and KL in Week 1. Had a tough matchup in Week 2 playing against AIR, another Chinese team. So they did lose that matchup in Week 2. Here they are in Week 3, once again fighting for that final spot in the middle bracket, hoping to get that third seed in the playoff.
Oh, 100%. And I don't know about you, this is one of the things I've really liked about Seasonal, especially what it's sort of grown into, is watching these different styles of Hell Let Loose butt up against each other. Having sort of that real Chinese grindy style up against the more flamboyant style of like your DCs or your TLs. It's been great.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching those different styles has been absolutely blown my mind. MrNitro, you're a member of a clan, are you not? You're a TL man, if I'm not mistaken.
I am a member of the Line. Yes, the Line is a North American community. We have friends from all over the world, though, in TL. I am honored to be part of their group. Now, to clarify, I do not play competitive Hell Let Loose. I am a filthy casual, filthy pub player. But I do take the time to cast a lot of their matches. And all I do is just I look at what's going on screen and tell you what's happening. And that's for the most part what I do. But TL are a great group of guys. Yeah, that's what we do. They're a great group of guys. They got a couple servers if you're ever interested. So thank you for allowing me to talk about that. But feel free to jump in. Everyone's super friendly, super willing to teach. And the Line has got a lot of new players right now that they're training and kind of working to become that seasoned part of the seasoned team. Because TL has been around for a minute as well. They've taken second place 2 seasonals ago. They made it to the top 4, I believe, last seasonal. So, well-established team, great group of guys. and I'm thankful to be a part of that.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Also, a very good point to make is that man over there, MrNitro, is a Twitch streamer. He has a very, very good thing going on over his community. You can go find him, twitch.tv/that name down the bottom. Don't worry, I can use, that one. Good. Please, go drop him a follow and go hang out, because I guarantee you a good time if you hang out over there. Now, I don't know about you, MrNitro, but I love watching some pre-match antics. What do you say we stop making people look at whatever the hell's going on with these ugly mugs and we jump into, I'm just going to turn this one off because we're not going to need that post-game, but we jump into a little bit of casting and we see a little bit of team killing before the match. Sound good?
Absolutely. I love me some good team kills.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so sorry about this transition.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Oh, it's so... The guy that makes my transition, ITK'd it up for me. Given if you see ITK's logo, it's a little distinctive, and that's the one up in the top right-hand corner there. We, however, are going to be playing on the 82-8 playing. What? We're going to be casting on the 82 AD side.
I'll jump in. I'll take a medic spot. That's fine.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine the controversy that had happened. We've got our first casualty.
Quite tragic.
I do wonder now. I have been given a point of view for this match, so I'm gonna go. I wonder whether or not we've got it. Let's just see. Kolstad is just looking at the menu. He's not doing too much at the moment. I was expecting a few team kills.
Of the roster.
Yeah, making sure the lads are there. But we do have some point of views. I don't have a camera for MrNitro today, which is a little disappointing. I love having my co-casters with camera, but there is a Chinese streamer on the other side, and they are going to be streaming on the is it Bilibili? Bilibili. I don't know.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. The Chinese platform. So if you want to see their side, please go and look up those links. I'm sure they're on the seasonal Discord somewhere. Or if they're not, they should be.
Correct. Yeah, that's going to be in the match calendar channel in the seasonal Discord. You'll have direct links to Trauma Stew stream as well as Kuralicus as well, who'll be streaming in Chinese.
Excellent. So I wish that guy the best of games as well as a caster. Do you wish somebody the best? I don't know. Good luck to your casting. That's another Gelman's going to go down on the front of that Panzer IV. Unlucky to that guy.
I love the amount of people that just ride the tanks into battle. It's incredible. You know, in some communities we call them the tank simps. You know, these are people who are just, they'll play engineer. They're just going to be riding on top of the tank with their repair tool out, and it's great to see.
I like it. I do like the extra machine gun. Sitting up there. I feel like, is that something they're going to use in their strategy for the game? Just placing an extra machine gun up there, obviously covering some of the blind spots of the tank. Probably
yeah, you know, you love to see the creative tactics that teams come up with. Yeah, I would imagine we probably won't see that, but that would be hilarious though. Just to have an extra MG, a mobile MG, that'd be great.
My favorite is when you get like the 3 rocket launchers and 2 MGs on top of a transport truck. And it's it's like you've got yourself an extra little light tank. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. No, the truck jousting is something that's always fun to see. People have hit some pretty nasty shots from truck to truck before. And it's pretty incredible.
I think the stream is due to go live shortly. With any luck, who knows? Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly bullshit. You guys know how it works. All the marks in the world, they're definitely worried about this spot. Obviously, making sure that this spot is covered is why the squad leader's putting up all these marks here. Let's see how that pans out for him. Rocket going in is going to be ineffective for that Panzer IV. That was Gelman. Obviously getting a little upset that he got murdered by the tank just before. It's good to see him getting back into the fight. Now, MrNitro, I know that you don't play competitive Hell Let Loose, but if you were to jump into a competitive game, do you think you would have any pre-game rituals? Is there anything that you reckon you'd go to beforehand?
Well, you know, for me, I love a good pep talk, a good speech to rile up your teammates, to really motivate your squad. You know, sometimes I am not the best with words, but if there's one thing I can do, it's I can talk to a group of people and get them riled up, get them excited for what's about to happen. And what's about to happen, Stu, is an amazing match on St. Marie-Dumont, 82nd AD versus ITK. If you're watching at home, thank you so much for being here. We're very excited. We got about 30 seconds or so until the map flip. And we're here for a damn good time. I
don't know about you, Nitro. I have been looking forward to this one all week. 20 seconds away from this map being rolled, and we're going to get into a little bit of competitive Hell Let Loose. Welcome to everybody else that's joining us. It is a goddamn pleasure to see so many of you around here. Today's match is going to be 82 AD on the Ally side versus ITK on the Axis side, and they're going to be playing over St. Marie-Dumont. Hopefully that's what the map will show in 3 seconds when it rolls.
Yeah,
I don't know,
everything
let's go!
goes according to plan. Hey, we're good.
SMDM! Believe, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it does work. Now we've just got to hope that we are on the ally side and we're good. We are! Look at that!
Perfect.
We're just going to go find Sir Lucky's squad and I promise to get you into it.
Wonderful. Yeah, looking
be
at
a
the map immediately right off the bat, looks like we're going to have a Pierre's Farm midpoint. Pierre's and AA are sort of my favorite points to spectate when we're talking about competitive matches. AA is probably my favorite. I feel like that one's maybe the more balanced side, but Pierre's is great. It's definitely winnable, on either side. But any thoughts as 82nd as the allies? Taking a look at the map, because my expertise is not in strategy and game planning, but taking a brief look at the maps too. Any thoughts on the point layout here?
Look, I think it's actually a really balanced one. We've seen some very weird point layout so far, but let me talk over to it. From the 82nd AD defensive point, it's going to be Winter's Landing is going to be the most defensive point for 82, followed by Cattle Sheds. I love a good fight over Bunnings. I don't know whether you have that in America, but it's a tool shop or Bunnings. It's Bunnings. You get sausage. No. They have sausage sizzles there, but they've got big sheds. So that's why we call Cattle Sheds Bunnings. Pierre's Farm is going to be our middle point, the one we're going to be fighting over, as you called it before. Saint Marie de Mont, that is one hell of an interesting point as the first defensive point for the ITK side. That is a tough nut to crack. And Hill 6 is going to be the last one. Yeah, everyone's had some big fights over SMDM, over that St. Marie de Mont point, haven't they? As we'd expect, all the nodes going down. We're just doing the one node inside each little triangle. That seems like a bit of a different way to go about it, but hey, good luck to them. I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to set up the nodes.
Feel like that's more supplies than I feel like I'd have if I was down there, but look, good luck to them. I guess it does mean that they're not all close together and they can't be taken out by that singular satchel. So look, let's see how that works out. Match warm-up's got 1 minute to go before that historically accurate invisible wall drops. Good luck to both teams. It is a pleasure to have so many of you around. Let's get up to the front. This is the 82nd AD truck, just waiting at the historically accurate invisible wall. Now, Nitro, I don't know whether you know this, but they actually... The Axis forces actually used these invisible walls in World War II. It's true.
Really?
They used them to, they looked exactly like this. They were sky high. You couldn't even get planes past them. That's people come here for facts, and there is nothing you can do to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's incredible technology. I mean, we saw some really great advancements in military technology during the Second World War, but this is a new one for me. Sometimes the history books don't tell the full story. That's what we're here for, is to give you the truth.
Or, worry about whatever the hell's coming out of my mouth on a minutely basis. 10 seconds to go and we're going to get into this match. We're going to follow this truck in because it's the first one I found and it's very full. If we get a truck snipe on this, it's definitely going to hurt that 82 AD advance. ITK, you'd think they've probably got this this road a little bit covered. Let's see how it goes. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you that the commander for the 82 AD side is going to be none other than our friend, Beaver Bang. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. It's going to be 82 AD on the Ally side, and we're going to see ITK are going to be on the Axis side. They are spending a lot of time on this road. I don't know about you, Mr. Nitro. I get worried. When I'm in a truck on the main road for this long at the start of the match, I get worried that there's going to be a little bit of artillery or a tank snipe coming in. I'm going to get off it and move down the side now.
Yeah, no, that's the right call, absolutely. Especially with a map that's as commonly played as SMDM. The truck snipes are well known throughout the community. You really got to do your best to get to the point as quickly as possible, but try to take some routes that maybe just might throw your opponent off. It looks like it's working out for them as 82nd are going to be first on the point. Going to start to get that initial cap progress, and we'll see how ITK can respond. One of the things we see from the Axis side is just playing for the retake on Pierre's. It just makes sense. Allies will get there first, and it's interesting to see what their game plan is going to be.
Yep, it looks like they have definitely spread out. I think you've called it exactly the way it is, Mr. Nitro. Looks like they've spread out. They're the Red Berry. So good to know if you're watching this one. Welcome into the Raiders. We are on a 30-minute delay. So I can't say hi and thank you for the raid until for 30 minutes. But welcome. Pleasure to have you. We're going to be watching 82 AD versus ITK. And exactly as you called it, ITK have spread out very, very well across that good battlefront. But I'll tell you what, I really like what I'm seeing from 82 at the moment. They have pushed in nice and deep. and really starting to take that sector control nice and early around Pierre's farm. ITK really pushing in from that southwestern side. If we zoom in there, that is a little bit of a wheat field there, providing a lot of cover. If they can get their troops nice and deep in there, nice and deep, you heard me. We do have a Luke's providing them with a little cover right there. It's just up on the side, just sort of sniping a little bit. That'll help the bulk of this ITK team push up. That said,
yeah, having that tank there for infantry support is going to be great. I mean, ideally, like we said, it's more likely ITK are going to play for the recap, which is fine. That's absolutely a valid tactic. You're going to need that infantry and armor support. That artillery is going to be necessary, and we're seeing that come down on the hard cap for Pierre's already.
Yep.
But combining that artillery support, moving in your armor, and making sure that armor is supported by infantry, that's going to be their best bet to get this retake. But 82nd AD are looking really comfortable at this point.
They really are, aren't they? What I'm really liking for him is this little push out this side as well. We're sort of looking out towards the south-southeast side of Pierre's farm. These lads have dug nice and deep in, and basically what that does, it's denied a lot of that cover around this side. It's denied ITK from being able to push up those sort of angles that you normally would to retake Pierre's farm. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from that. They've got a bulk of lads on the point. Artillery is absolutely doing its work at the moment. We're seeing all the lads die, but that's fine. I'm sure they'll keep going and they'll keep grinding it out. Let's go have a look around the other side, which is the western side, and we're seeing that sort of other arm of this push coming down this side, really taking that AA battery. I always get them mixed up.
AA network. You got it right the first time. You're good.
AA network. Yeah, really sort of taking that mid strong point. It isn't one of the points for this match, but look, identifying it as an area that they really need to take and hold if they're going to hold off this ITK push. Look, obviously we've only just started the match. I wouldn't call it from here. I don't know who in God's name you're going to put your prediction down for, but look, very strong opening from both sides. Obviously, we've seen 82 AD take that middle point nice and early. It's kind of what, as MrNitro was saying, exactly what you'd expect from the allies on this side. Really that ability to push in. But as I said, they're really starting to push back this ITK line. It is gunfights out towards the middle. Just death and dismemberment all through the middle there. Artillery's doing its work. The artillery, I think, is still... the ITK artillery is still sort of hitting on Pierre's farm itself.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, that was nasty. One lad just lost his life. He got hit shelled directly on his head. No, I think ITK are doing the right move as far as their artillery. Keeping guys off that hard cap is going to be good for them. The problem is both in the east and the west, they are getting pushed back. That eastern line all the way on the edge of the map, most of that fighting usually is on the other side of that hayfield. But 82nd AD have just pushed right on through, and and they're doing a good job of keeping that infantry out of Pierre's. And it honestly could help them eventually make a push toward SMDM. Now, SMDM might be a bit harder to take with this map layout for 82nd, just because of the proximity of the 2 points. Also, the city itself, that's hard to fight in. Any sort of urban combat like that, to me, that's tough. So I'm not sure how they'll go about approaching that, but they're in a really good position to kind of box ITK out of Pierre's and just keep them pushed back, keep them out of the zone.
I just want to point out, have a look at the amount of body parts that are there. We did see a big spawn wave coming in from ITK on that OP there. They got immediately destroyed by the artillery. Obviously, 82 picked that out as a spot they really need to look after. Asian lettering there, the ITK lads getting brutally murdered. That's going to be the end of the push there. I'll tell you what I am liking is they are... Look, ITK absolutely dominating through the middle at the moment. The problem is, by pushing through the middle and that real shotgun approach, and that real sort of, that real push down the middle, they have given up their flanks to 82nd AD, and I think that's going to make it very difficult for them to push nice and deep. We're seeing Captain just pushing up here. Let's see who's going to get the best of this fight. Oh, he got the jump on him, but Captain is manages to come away with the win there. Good shooting to that lad. Just sort of sweeping, trying to take out some of the OPs. Well done to that lad. This lucky little Luke's that we saw from the start of the map is still doing a little bit of damage there. It is on fire. Don't know whether you know this, MrNitro, but tanks are not supposed to have that much fire coming out of them. That's it. They'll try and get some...
No. Yeah.
That's it. It is still up and operational, and it is still something that 82nd will have to deal with. Welcome everybody else in chat. God damn it, it's a pleasure to have each and every one of you. Anybody that's ever swung by this stream is obviously just a better class of human being than anybody else on the planet. I'll say that right here, right now, and I'm going to stand by that comment. 82nd, I'm loving this. Have a look at this sector control. This is a very strong opening from 82nd. ITK have a lot of work to do to try and push them out of this.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no, absolutely. And I'm curious to know if you don't mind checking the map for a brief moment. I'm
Pleasure.
curious to know what their garrison setup is looking like. What are their OPs? Looking like really strong reinforcement in the back line by cattle sheds. That's going to work as great as just a radar. Just if anyone gets nearby, it'll ping it right away. They know to fall back to cattle sheds. But the OP network is looking pretty strong as well. Most of them being focused on the east. Going to try to keep people out of Pierre's in that, what is that, F6? So the scoreboard's blocking that exact sector.
It's
but,
H here, and that's G
H,
through
there
this
you go.
one. There we go.
That's going to be H6 then. Yeah, going to keep that infantry pushed back. They got the flares going up. They know what they're doing. And it looks like they have some garrison set up all the way to the west as well to maybe try to get a push going from AA.
They do. Obviously, very, very strong garrison setup now. Look, this one has been up for a little bit, and look, I like this. This if they can start spawning on that one, start getting a line of OPs to put some of that western pressure on Saint Marie de Mont, I think that'll put them in very good stand. I'm looking forward to see how they go with it.
Yeah, no, that'll be great to see. ITK, we're not sure exactly what their garrison setup is. Obviously, there's another cast going on at the moment. But yeah, they seem to be playing really passively. Either that or they're just not coming out on top on these gunfights. They haven't really been able to gain too much ground. 82nd AD have kind of been pushed back from this road. You'll see that tank in the bottom of your screen. Kind of being forced to pull back a little bit. But for the most part, not a whole lot of ground lost.
No. Like, I think they're doing very, very well defensively, 82nd at the moment. That said, it looks like ITK are starting to get a handle on some of these flanks, exactly as you called it, MrNitro. Obviously, you've got some great commentary on this one. Let's have a look at that tank. It's going to be crewed by Siege, Joisty C, and freaking something. It's going to be the medium tank for the Americans, just sort of putting some fire, trying to hold off some of this ITK, taking down Chi there. Well done to that lad. And I do want to point out, we do have a point of view now. It's going to be Kolstad. Let's have a look at what Kolstad's doing. What a time to be
for Kolstad.
What a time to flick onto that lad. He's going to deploy. Let's cruise back out of that screen.
That's great. Do we know what Kolstad is playing, or where he's playing at the moment?
I don't. I do know
yet,
he
right?
is one of those lads that likes to sit on a machine gun. But I'm interested to see what he's going to be playing on during the game today. Hopefully he spawned in. He has, playing a machine gun.
Nice.
We'll see if we can't find
for MGs. I'm curious to know if this position here on the road. Obviously, great to cover the main roads as best you can. For SMDM, I feel like a lot of the elevated positions are going to be some of the better spots, particularly on Pierre's. I know there is a way where you can get a truck all the way up to that main building in the hard cap on Pierre's, and you can get an MG up there. It's a great spot to cover that push from the south. Don't see anyone up there at the moment, but SMDN, there's a ton of spots where you can set up MGs. It's a really versatile map, so there aren't too many bad spots to set
Speaking of places to get up, have a look at that. We've just seen Vitor getting he's got an MG up in the grain silo. Very good spot. It's a little bit of elevation where not everybody expects it. There is a way you can get up into there, as we've just seen Vitor play out for us. So appreciate that, lad, for showing me all the things. Basically, what we're seeing is 82nd AD. We've got they have their machine gunners sitting nice and far back, and really just putting fire onto pings that their squad leads are putting down, which is good. It's a damn good strategy to do, and really just keeps ITK's head down. Let's get over this side because I feel like AA Network, there still is a big fight going on over here. Both teams recognizing they need to do. Looks like Botjack just going down to Kaku then. And then the other ITK lads up in support. Slavic is sitting back with the machine gun. Looks like he's just finding a little bit of a place to just sort of lie down the road and really hold that off. Kaku going down before he makes any further impact on this side. Frogger's moving up.
The gunfights.
Yep.
The gunfights seem to be going back and forth here, and more so than on Pierre's farm. I feel like on Pierre's, we're seeing a lot more fights go the way of 82nd AD. Yep. But over here, the trades seem to be coming back and forth from these teams, so it could be a really good firefight. Right now, it looks like 82nd's got at least one player in their back line. But here at this house, ITK's got themselves a nice little setup here. They do lose one man here, but this MG on the roof is going to help, hopefully help their infantry push forward through that field. You're seeing smokes there on the right side of your screen. Infantry gonna try to push through there. Maybe that MG can help them cover.
Yep.
But
I really do like
anytime you
this.
have an open field, it's tough.
I really do like this, MrNitro. Basically, that MG, it's got cover from the northern side because he's sitting on the side of the house, even though he's copping a lot of fire now. Looks like Captain is putting a bit of fire his way, being going to be ineffective so far. But you're right. This is essentially allowing them to get an MG up on that 82nd flank, and it should help them push in a little bit. That said, I'm not seeing any targets. There's going to be a little cheeky recon tank pushing through. That's going to be the ITK tank. Yep, just doing what recon tanks do best. Cruising around, making sure nobody can get a good beat on him. There are no AT players around him. Let's see. There is Hazuli is the AT player just towards the top of your screen. If he can get the rocket on there, Oni looks like Gunshow's going to go down. Oni's going to keep running up to him. He is the rifleman, so there's not much he's going to be able to do, but that recon tank's going to move on. Gelman is the other rifleman that's going to move up on his flank as well. That recon tank is just going to keep being a pest and keep moving around. Doesn't look like it's been called out. Nope. Still. I'm not seeing any marks going.
Roaming freely.
I know. That's a little bit worrying. I'm not seeing it. Looks like Hazuli, the AT player, is moving back now, so it might have been called out now. Rocket going in. It's going to be ineffective. Unlucky, my friend. Good shot, but shooting a moving recon tank is hard at the best of times. It's just going to go through and take out all of those. Well, okay, it's going to take out nothing more because it's going to be taken out. I didn't see which tank got that, but I'm sure there is a tank somewhere. This is the part where I'd normally make my second tank camera go and find wherever that tank was, but I feel like that was a good run from the tank. Took out a bunch of OPs and really made 82nd really think about what they're doing. Let's get over to this flank now and just see what they're doing up here because it looked like 82nd are making a very good push down this side now.
Yeah, they kind of regained a little bit of that ground that they lost earlier up on this intersection here. Doesn't look like they're going to be too aggressive right now. At this point, this might be where they decide to just hold up. They have good coverage of the fields here coming out of SMDM. There's only a couple of avenues to get down here. That trench here that you're seeing, that squad lead on your left, that's really one of the only ways they can, or ITK can push back here.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's really easy to just cover it. You get an MG, you get a piece of armor out here, and it's really easy to just shut that down for ITK. So this is a great spot for them to kind of sit and just make sure their ground is covered.
Yeah, I agree. That said, what's really helping out this ITK force is if we get back there, let's go have a look at this machine gunner. This machine gunner, we've just seen him take a number of scalps. I can't say the name because my ability to read Asian lettering is absolutely horrendous. But he's just providing a little bit of cover there as he starts putting a little more covering fire down there. It's really stopping this 80-second push. He is copping a little bit of fire, though. It's going to be ineffective so far. There you go. As I say that, he gets brutally murdered. That is the commentator's curse. I don't know whether you know. Every time we call somebody out or say they're doing a good job, they will get brutally murdered. Rocket going in is going to be ineffective from Kolstad. That's our man. Let's go have a look at what his next rocket's going to do. He's doing it from out of bounds. Rocket going in. Another ineffective rocket. Unlucky, my friend. He's just going to push up. That is a terrible stream quality, so let's sit on this one. Welcome anybody else that's joining. Pleasure to have so many of you beautiful motherfuckers hanging around today. This is 82nd AD versus ITK. The European and/or American clan versus the Chinese clan. Still wouldn't call it. 82nd taking a nice early advantage, taking Pierre's farm, as we expected them to do. ITK really sort of trying to grind it out. But I'll tell you what I'm liking from 82nd. Have a look at this, MrNitro. They have gained this sort of next field and really starting to push up into that next little bit of cover. If they can push up and take advantage of this, I think they'll have a really good spot to start pushing on to SMDM. Bombing run going in. That's going to be the ITK bombing run. Just trying to clean up a little bit of that 82nd attack.
Yeah, not sure if that's going to end up taking out. There was a garrison.
There was a garrison right here. It does look like that garrison is done, so the bombing run might have dealt with that. So well done. Fair play to that commander.
Yeah, and that is an empty hard cab. Not a lot of infantry from ITK in the area to push in on that. But at the very least, hey, you took out a garrison, you cleared out the hard cap. It's going to take 82 AD a couple of seconds to get the resources back and get things all set up. So if that relieves a little bit of pressure off the front line, that's always great for them. But look how much the front line has moved from north to south at this time. Yeah, 82nd are making actually pretty great progress toward SMDM. Now the artillery is going to start coming down on that town.
We just saw just about every 82nd player in the world die. That is Zhao Zumi taking out that OP. So that's going to blunt that attack from 82nd coming up this left-hand side of their advance, which will be the eastern side of the map. He's just going to sit there, see if we can get a few shots off. Let's go, lad. I feel like that's a ballsy move, running across an open field. I don't know whether you know this, MrNitro, but it's actually the best thing to do in this. Nobody ever expects it. But as a good friend of the stream, Blue Rose Jelly, always says, the best, well, he obviously wasn't screaming hard enough because he is going to get brutally murdered before he makes it all the way across.
Yeah, no, that battle cry just not fierce enough. It's going to cost you your life there in that situation.
I know, you've got to do these things to establish dominance. If you're not yelling at the enemy, how are they going to be terrified into pulling back? I'm just saying, you're doing it wrong. That's all right. Maybe next time, Zhao. He did get some kills in there nice and early, though, so he'll be a little bit happy with that one. Welcome, everybody else that's joining. God damn, it's a pleasure to see so many of you. I love each and every one of you. Anybody that's ever hung out here is obviously just the best of humans. ITK is starting to get a few probes in. It does look like they have started to win this western side over at AA Network. Pony is going to be the AT that's sitting just up in that building that dominates the landscape over at AA Network. It just sort of looks like he's hiding. He's pretty chill, just happy to sit back whilst the rest of the ITK squad flood in around him. Looks like they're not aware he's there. Otherwise, I'm sure they would be clearing that building. But ITK looks like they're starting to win this fight. Yep.
Yeah, no, it looks like neither team are aware of each other's presence, so they've gotten a couple of spawns off this OP now. So ITK are really putting themselves in position to spread out and maybe take some of this ground back on AA Network. Looks like these players might find each other right now. 82nd AD, that player's gonna go down. Not sure if there's any OPs in the air for 82nd, but that is a bit of ground gained for ITK. That's gonna be necessary for them. They really need that to move forward. And a good victory for that small scrum.
Very, very good push from them. Well done and fair play to these ITK lads. Even though they've lost the middle point nice and early, as we come up to... Oh, why is my screen doing weird things? I can't even tell.
Beautiful flare go up and also mark up a tank during that flare.
Ooh, I love a good flare. Good thing to know.
That's one of the...
What do you got?
Oh, I do think that's one of the more interesting changes in the past couple of updates. You know, the addition of the flares really has changed how people play the front line, where you have the recon SLs now just constantly respawning, flaring that, wherever the front line is for your team. And it's almost just like a permanent UAV in some situations.
Yeah, 100% it is. When you've got that recon squad lead, the Flare Monkey, just constantly putting vision over the map, you're right. It absolutely has changed them. And what I like is it's really brought those recon squads back in and tighter with the rest of the team, which is a really good thing. Like, we love to see those infantry v infantry battles. As we're saying that, have a look at ITK. Big spawns going in over towards the western side of this map, really dominating that AA network. That said, 82 AD look like they are across their flank. They are aware of the threat, and they are pushing back to try and retake it. That ITK lad really doing a number on Beto there. Slavic is pushing up down the right-hand side. I wonder whether he's got an angle on that ITK lad. He is going to get a little bit of machine gun fire. Well done. Fair play to him.
You know what? See, that man had a great battle cry. That's why he came out on top in that.
100%. Open field. He's doing it right. Good Lord, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Pleasure to have you. Hope you're enjoying this seasonal content because I'm enjoying casting it. Welcome. This is MrNitro. The disembodied voice you can hear at the moment is MrNitro. Basically, seasonal royalty. One of the helpers over there, and damn good lad, if I do say so myself.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind. No, I'm happy to be here. Always happy to sit in for a great match. Seasonal, in my opinion, is the premier tournament in the Hell Let Loose competitive scene. So there's always great games happening. Lots of great teams. 32 teams fighting for one champion spot. And we're 3 weeks in. We've seen some great action so far. We're seeing that continue today on SMDM. I expect that this will probably go the entire 90 minutes. I don't think we see a 5-0 here. I think both of these teams are good enough where it's going to be tough for either one to push that far and just completely capture all the points. But what we're hoping for, what I always hope for, is just a great back and forth, maybe a recap or two. Let's see mid flip back and forth. That's always exciting. And maybe Gem here, he's going to drop one, not going to get the second on the bottom of your screen. But in this open field, you might see a couple of trades.
Impressive. Going down to Zhao. This Zhao lad, he is a strong contender for our man of the match at the moment. We have seen him push hard down this right-hand side and take a number of scalps. This is about where he died last time, but it looks like he might make it across this open field now. Fair play to him. Deciding not to go with the cover.
Oh, that STG is going to be really strong in this situation. Great for infantry. And he may have his back turned. Oh, he's going to get the turn, though, and get the kill. Oh,
that's huge. Yeah, he got the drop on him, but Zhao managing to pull around and doing a bunch of murder before he gets taken down by Leska. Fair play and well done to that lad. He is doing a bunch of work down this left-hand side of the map. Still a bit of a meat grinder through the middle of the match at the moment, but ITK look like they put a bunch of lads through the middle now. Maybe sort of looking at that real shotgun approach to try and take the middle. They'll feel a lot better now that they've got that AA network a little bit secure down the western side of this map. 82nd, obviously, as we called out before, have identified this area as a place that they really do need to take back from this ITK side. Very well done. Welcome in, everybody. It's a goddamn pleasure to have each and every one of you. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Hope you're having one hell of a day. Love each and every one of you. I'll tell you what, this is where the battle's at the moment. And I'll tell you what, 82nd have identified it is a place that they need to take back because they're going to place one of their 76 tanks, one of their heavies, going to move down onto this AA side just to support the infantry and see whether they can take it back. One rocket's going to go in. That's the ITK lad you can see just towards the left of your screen. Doesn't look like it pinned, so this 76 is going to keep moving and going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and the call has definitely been made to the infantry. As you'll see that infantry kind of move in on that position. You got 3 82nd AD guys moving in, a 4th on the left side of your screen. So I don't think they get the opportunity. He does go down there. So yeah, no second rocket for that AT player. But no, the call, I think this is the right move for 82nd AD. You got to get the tank in there. Make sure you got your infantry supporting. And immediately they're making progress on getting back AA now.
Oh, look, 100%. They look, we saw it flip nice and early, and we saw ITK start to dominate it. 82nd, they're playing a good brand of Hell Let Loose, really trying to establish dominance down this right-hand side of their line, which is going to be the western side of the map. Thank you very much for everyone that's following. It is a goddamn pleasure to have so many of you. And I'll tell you what, given they're starting to win the gunfights down this right-hand side now, we are starting to see them push out through the middle as well, which is damn good to see. Let's go have a look at what Kolstad's doing now. He's got the grease gun. Interesting move. Look, I love a good grease gun, but it is obviously not the favorite. It's not one of the favorites. He's going to die. It was worth watching him just for that little bit as he peeked the hedge, didn't get any kills, and got brutally murdered in the time being. Shout out to MrNitro. Go follow that guy if you haven't already. I feel like do yourselves a favor. Get out there and follow my man, MrNitro. He is one hell of a good dude, and he has some very good things going on down at his channel over on twitch.tv/MrNitro. I can guarantee you a good time if you head there. You heard me. I'll guarantee you a good time.
Well, yeah, I love a good guarantee. Thank you, Stu. No, I think for Hell Let Loose, they're like I said, casting is really where I feel comfortable in the community. And as I said before, all I do is I look at the screen and tell you what's happening, and that's what we do here. So right now there is an 82nd AD squad lead hold up in this building, surrounded. Oh, but was that a nade? What was that? Or maybe a tank shell, perhaps?
I think it was a tank shell. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of ITK players in the trenches still. One's gonna go down. And it looks like we should see a firefight here in just a moment. Second one's going to go down. Now, 82nd AD, they've got this covered. This whole sector, this is a good crossfire. We're seeing more shells come in. ITK are going to have a tough time getting back in here.
100% they are. Look, 82nd, very good push down this right-hand side. Very good push across the map. ITK, we're coming up to half an hour gone with 1 hour left to go in this match. Ooh, as we see the 76 going down there. That was the 76 from before. That tank's not going to play a part anymore, so fair play to ITK taking that one down. I think that could be absolutely clutch and crucial. And as we see that 76 go down, we're sort of seeing ITK really start to take back AA Network. I'm just going to cruise back over Pierre's and just see what the situation's looking like back here. Yep. Looks like ITK is starting to push out towards sort of that middle main road area of Pierre's farm, towards the top of your screen. Sort of starting to put a lot more troops into it and really take it back. So well done to them. 82nd, obviously starting to defend a little bit deeper. I wonder what you do as the 82nd commander. Do you defend? You've still got an hour, and an hour is a long time to be defending 1.4.
Yeah, I think you really have to be a little bit aggressive here. You're seeing troops on the left side to try to make that push on the eastern side. It's the edge of the map. There's only so many places you can go. For me, maybe I throw a light tank or a medium tank down here just to kind of help keep that infantry at bay. Because as you can see, ITK have made a little bit of progress. They're using smokes to move along the hedge line. You're seeing artillery come down now where these 82nd AD players are holed up. So ITK are making a concerted effort here to try to take this section of the map back. For me, I think you throw some armor here, try to gain a little bit more ground, maybe get it to Cemetery. If you can get it to Cemetery, you're in a much better position to defend here.
Yep. I completely agree. 82nd, they're getting pushed back across the map at the moment. Big spawn wave we've just seen from them coming in now. They're going to start pushing back this ITK side. Well, Kolstad, that's our man going down in the middle of your screen there. Awada, Pisujic, Presif, and Alexa are going to provide the bulk of the fire support for 82nd. ITK going down to a little bit of artillery now. So it's really easy for me to say, and I can, both of us can look at this and say, obviously, 82nd, push up. There's only one guy. You've got this. But they can't see anything. If you're on the ground there, you can't see that you've got you're well clear in front of you. It's just easy for me as a caster to say, obviously push up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, the eye in the sky is great for wisdom here in the casting booth. Obviously on the ground, the experience is much, much different. But you know what? All you can do is hope for the best. Make sure you have good comms. Communicate to your teammates where what you're seeing and where you're seeing it, and you make moves based on that. We have the privilege of getting all the information on screen, and so it's very easy for us to to judge and critique and say, well, why didn't you just do that? But it's just a very, very different experience in competitive Hell Let Loose. One of my favorite conversations I've had was talking to a few comp players and saying just how many comms are in your ear at any given time in a comp match. I don't know how they do it. So mad respect to the players, just being able to filter out the noise, only hear what's necessary, and still come out on top on these gunfights.
Look, dude, 100%. When you've got Discord going, when you've got in-game cons, just both your local chat, your command chat, and your squad chat, just how you can stay on top of that. I'll tell you what, have a look at this. This is Chin, the ITK player, onto the strong point in PS Farm. He's gonna be backed up by Uncle Hen. ITK, they're really pushing this front out now. 82nd could be in a little bit of trouble.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like they kind of just left the front door open. There's a huge gap here on that main road. Here comes a bombing run now, though. Is that an ITK bombing run?
It is
this
the ITK
could be the
bombing
opportunity they're looking for. Garrison spawn gonna be no good. That Garrison may go down again.
Yep.
There's 2 bombing runs in a row, gonna be successful, and here's the opportunity for ITK to get back in if 82nd doesn't close this gap.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're in a far better position to try and do it this time. They do have far more on the front line to be able to take advantage of that. That said, have a look at the 82nd line collapsing back. We're seeing that towards the west and southwest. The blueberries you're seeing sort of collapsing back onto Prier's farm. They've identified that they do have a little bit of front door danger as opposed to back door danger. They're completely different things when you think about it. But look, I think that was well defended. ITK, they're going to continue to put some continuous pressure onto Pierre's farm from the south, and they're the red berries you're seeing moving in from the top of your screen. 82. They've got a long way to go to try and defend this one. That said, I feel like they're continuously being pushed back. We're seeing them being pushed back across this left-hand side again, really getting back into that cover. We're seeing that 82 were able to defend this house before, but they have been pushed back there again, and ITK doing a really good job of really sort of cleaning up this this left-hand side of the 82 line. So props to them. Let's swing over and have a look at what's happening at AA Network. Looks like nobody wants it at the moment. Nobody's in there, but it does look like 82nd do have some troops up on the right-hand side. They're going to keep pushing up from there and really try and loop around that right-hand side of this ITK line. So, look, well played to them. Good job. It's a banger of a match so far. Yep.
Oh, it's been a great match. Great back and forth. It looks like, that front line is shifting from north to south and then back from south to north. 82nd have an opportunity on that west side to really push back. There was a bit of an opening for those troops in the west to maybe try to get behind them, try to get in their back line. Looks like ITK are starting to fan out again. They may be picking up on it, but there's 2 kills for 82nd AD right there. Good trades coming back on this west side. And if you do manage to gain that ground, get into like these wheat fields, for example, that's going to be your opportunity to start taking out some of these OPs, maybe try to clear out some of these garrisons if there are any in this zone. But it looks like ITK, they're on top of it. They're aware. They're going to try to stop that, get that counter push going.
And I feel like we were talking about a little bit before the match, the sort of different styles that we're starting to see within this seasonal competition. This is this very Chinese style of play, strong battle line, and really grind out your opponents. And we're seeing that. We're seeing them grind them out across the length of this battle line. Very big push we're seeing coming into Pierre's farm now. Looks like ITK have identified they probably have the strength across this line to start pushing in. That is a massive push going in for them. This could be huge. 82nd in a lot of trouble. Something died there. I didn't quite see what that was before it got brutally murdered. Let's get in and have a look.
That was...
It was a 70...
Oh, is that...
It's Greyhound.
Yeah. Was that... 75? Either way, it's a piece of armor that went down. I think you may be right. That may be a Greyhound. But yeah, no, losing that tank on the hard cap, that's going to be huge for ITK. Any piece of armor is going to be a detriment to infantry here. So look at the smokes coming down. Infantry's trying to move in. There are good trades coming back and forth. Lots of explosions, lots of nades, a couple of tank shells coming in. And ITK, this is their chance here to take back Pierre's. This is what we were hoping for. Some good pushback from both sides. Infantry is starting to flood in now. That smoke is going to be extremely helpful for them. And even on the fields, we're seeing kind of to the west, we're seeing a couple players managing to get across that open field.
Yep, we're seeing, what is it, Jutiga? I can't say Asian. I can't say it. I have no idea what that name is, but the ITK player is the sniper towards the top right of your screen. He's getting up on the flank. ITK got it to about a third capped before 82 AD managed to take it back, and ITK, they're going to start capping it again. I've got to stop calling the cap points because it does go backwards and forwards far more often than you think I do. Artillery doing some work there. 82nd in a lot of trouble. We're seeing this sustained pressure from the front door. Have a look at those spawn waves from ITK coming in. The fact that they're able to keep getting their troops up there, bombing run from 82nd going in, just trying to clean up that ITK assault, and it's done a fair bit of work there. Look, fair play to them. Seeing some subs going down on the point from 82nd. From ITK, sorry.
There. On the right side of your screen, you'll see this lone ITK player. He drove up in a truck all by his lonesome. Not sure how he got the truck back there, but he is going to start clearing out that hard cap, looking for the OPs, looking for the garrisons, maybe try to get some supplies on, maybe nab himself a kill here. Looks like
there we go.
He's going to get the kill.
Got to kill him before he got cleaned up by Cahoots. They do have the garrison. 82nd do have the garrison back on point, so that'll help them defend this one a little bit more. Flares are going up. It is worth noting when you see a green flare, that is going to be the allies. If you see a red flare, that is going to be the ITK flares. It's actually the opposite to traces in this game. I don't know whether you know that, but it is absolutely true. Welcome in. Love each and every one of you. Oh my God. Can I just shout out somebody in chat dropping, and I kid you not, MrNitro, 10,000 bits. Ooh. That is insane. My man, causing flyer. Dude, you get a shout out on stream. You're going to see this in 30 minutes time. You are a genuinely wonderful human. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh, the support we get around here, MrNitro, is like nothing else I could have ever imagined when I started casting these matches and when I started streaming. I love you guys. You are amazing. I will never hear anybody say anything bad about you. ITK, very strong presence on point now. We see a spawn wave from 82nd go in. Let's see whether artillery is going to clean this one up. It's just the OP that caused that one, so it looks like they might have flopped back to try and start defending this one. They have started defending Pierre's farm, so well done to them. What do you got, MrNitro?
Oh, I was just saying, it's a good response. I mean, look at the amount of spawns on this single garrison as well. A bit dangerous if there is artillery coming down, but hey, I get it. You got to take that point back. It is probably going to cost them some ground, and I would not be surprised in about 30 seconds time if we check the east and the west. I'm sure ITK is going to gain a lot of ground there on that side. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm calling all these resources back. It is costly in other parts of the map, so it's important to note.
Yeah, it is really that everyone's played in one of those pub matches. In hell, you competitive players out there, every single one of you have played in that match where over command chat, you get that emergency call to spawn back. I don't care what you're doing, get on the hard point.
Yeah, such is the way of Hell Let Loose competitive. But no, you'll see ITK have made their way across this wheat field. They're in a stronger position to to maybe give this another go here shortly. You're gonna have to clear out that east side though. Still a lot of blueberries here on the left side of your screen. And you got to make sure that's clear if you're going to try to get that push. And just the people on the glider here, you can get an MG up there if you so choose. And you can get really good coverage still if you're 82nd AD.
Yeah, it looks like one of them did just go down. So it's just the AT player left over in this glider area. Just sort of sitting out that side. I feel like that's a good spot for him to be in. Another spawn we've just seen from that squad lead coming in is going to try and help out a little bit. But I think you're right, MrNitro. Holding that sort of glider area really cuts off that and allows those lads, as we've seen on the left, the blueberries, which is going to be Anon and Raspberry and Janelle up on that left-hand side to push up and start dealing with this ITK attack. That said, have a look at this front door pressure they've got. The red berries still pushing nice and deep in. Artillery's doing some work. Plenty of smoke to help them move up. Miko is going to be tip of the spear with Skints 98 and Noah. Miko going down. Artillery doing some work. It's one of those matches, isn't it? It's just a grind fest onto Pierre at the moment. Since 98 is pushing up on that right side, he's going to come up against Darksaber. They're not going to see each other because of the smoke. He's just there. He's going to chuck some nades in. There you go. Darksaber is going to be able to take out that guy. Well done. Really clearing up that little push they had going there. Another spawn wave we've seen from IT coming out towards the sort of middle right of your screen. It is important to remember, when we're looking at my screen, the blueberries will be the 82nd AD side. The red berries will be the ITK side. And I don't know about you, MrNitro. When I'm casting these matches, I find it really hard. I feel like I need to barrack and go for the blue team. Because blue team, when you're playing, are always the good guys, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's always red team, blue team. The blue team are the good guys. You know, we got to support the 82nd boys here, who we are casting their POV. They've been helpful enough to share some of their POVs, which we always appreciate. There's Kolstad on your screen right now. Looks like he's on an AT gun, which is
on an AT
always
gun.
great to see. You know, it's a great use of resources. You know, there are plenty of spots on SMDM that you can cover just these huge sections of these open areas with the AT gun. So, and here's the thing too. You don't even need to hit the tank sometimes. You just need to make the tankers afraid to cross that field. That's all you need to do. Because if they're afraid to cross the field, they're not going to do it, and it works just as well as hitting them.
Oh, dude, 100%. And you know, whenever you fire off that, like if you can get that hit with an AT gun on a tank that they weren't expecting, you can almost feel the fear in that tank. You know they're worried about you. And as you said, it allows the rest of your armor and your AT lads, it gives them something to work off. That tank knows they need to deal with that gun, and there's nothing they can do about it. We're not seeing much as we see Kolstad going down. Let's jump back into the point, because it looks like ITK are starting to take PS farm again. Look, fair play to those lads. They are playing one hell of a grind out through the middle. 82nd really sort of getting pushed back down this left-hand side. I really do want to get over this right-hand side and see how they're doing. It looks like 82nd have taken back AA network, but it is still just a mixed bag on this right-hand side. Both teams trying to get around that western flank. And it looks like ITK probably sort of winning this fight out at AA network at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say particularly on this side of the map, it's been tough for either team to really maintain that foothold. You know, it's been that this has been the most contested point of the match thus far. That being said, Piers is still going back the way of ITK, almost at 50% capture progress, and they are dug in here on the hard cap. Here comes a bombing run from ITK once again. That garrison, I will say. Just to comment on that garrison from 82nd AD, they placed it there several times. This is now the third time a bomber run has been taken, or has taken it out. So it might be time to rethink where you're placing that garrison, because it's just going down constantly.
Look, potentially they're going with the old, if we keep doing the same thing, they'll never expect us to do it again. Artillery going exactly where that garrison was. Looks like 82nd are going to keep capping it back with that spawn wave. They're going to try and push out. It is a grind. Dude, like, I know, like, I've played matches of Hell Let Loose. You know, artillery doing some work. Good lord. But everyone's played one of these matches where you know the only thing you can do is spawn back on the hard point, see if you can push out and find an area to be able to attack this ITK line from. Look, you die from artillery, you die from machine gun fire. Looks like 82nd have started to push out a little bit, so hopefully that'll help. Dexter is up around on their flank, though. He's going to spawn in. He's going to get brutally murdered before I get down and have a look at him. Commentator's curse. That's the way these things work. 82nd. Very good defense here. Well done to those lads. They are starting to push up this left-hand side as well. Over on this eastern side of the map. Looks like they've committed a fair few troops here, identifying that they really need to take hold of this eastern side of the map and really push ITK out, because ITK, they're playing a really good brand of Hell Let Loose at the moment, and if I'm 82nd, I'm a little bit worried. That said, they do have the next point. Sainte Marie de Mont is being contested at the moment. I'm just going to swing over there whilst we leave the fight at Pierre's farm. It looks like it's just going to be the singular squad lead back there at the moment. Just sort of cruising around, putting a little bit of pressure on. It's going to be Texas versus Henley. Good luck to these lads.
And you know what? This is where you really got to be careful, because you don't want, if you're ITK, you don't want to overreact to that and start sending just squads and squads of infantry back there. Because if it is just one or two guys in the back line, just send your one or two guys to check it out, right? You get your OPs, or take your OPs, look at them, use them as radar, find out where he is, and deal with accordingly. There's Kolstad spawning in the back line as well.
Hellman Kolstad. Let's jump in and have a look at what he's going to be doing around the back of SMDM here. Sorry about the stream quality. Obviously, it's not always the best when we flick to somebody, because internet. Basically, I am in Australia, so our internet is powered by kangaroos on treadmills. That is a fact. You can look that one up on Wikipedia if you like. Kolstad just sort of running around, seeing whether he can be a bit of a pain. What I do want to know, MrNitro, are clown OPs still a thing in the current meta? Are there rules against it within the seasonal tournament?
By the clown OPs, you mean, I think in NA we call them the 10-man OPs. They are allowed in seasonal. That is correct. It's a pretty common tactic that we've seen for quite some time now. No rules against the 10-man OPs. It's a pretty common strategy. where obviously as a squad leader, you get your guys to spawn in, boot them from the squad.
Oh, that
you
was
get a couple more guys to
Kolstad.
go. Oh,
That was
what a
Kolstad
rocket.
taking out the commander. That was we just got Kolstad taking out the ITK commander, which is Sint Yist up to I can't even say that. Sint something. But fair play to Kolstad. Well done.
Now, what a shot. Now, that was beautiful.
He's going to
And
get
he
brutally
does
murdered.
finally get traded. Yeah.
He's going to get brutally murdered before he's going to be of any further assistance. But obviously, if you're this ITK side, you get a little worried about that. Your commander just got killed in the back lines. That said, they still have this push going on PS Farm. So let's get back over there and have a look at it, shall we? Holy.
Yeah, looking at the front door, it looks like it's going to be another back and forth on this main road from north to south. A couple of guys on every corner of that intersection. ITK going to start to push up on this red roof house, try to get themselves set up. Going to be tough to do so with so many 82nd AD players on the east, but they're going to have their own problems as there are players pushing through that wheat field from ITK. A couple of players getting in the hard cap. I'm seeing a tank on the hard cap now from 82nd AD as well. We'll see where they decide to end up placing that.
That's the
that's an
ITK tank. That's a Panzer IV.
Oh,
Holy, that is huge.
that's massive.
Rocket's going in and going to be ineffective. I feel like that was his. That's probably Raspberry from 82nd trying to put a rocket on that tank. ITK pushing up this left-hand side as well. This could go back. I think this we're going to see this cap go ITK's way now. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. We have a goddamn match of hell let loose on our hands. 82nd do have a lot of lads up on that AA network towards the top right of your screen, but it's not going to help them if they lose Pierre's farm. They're going to need to push back and really deal with this ITK push. Spawn wave going in from 82nd down towards the bottom of your screen. They're going to try and get back in and push out this ITK push, but holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. The Chinese team, ITK, as we come up towards, just gone 45 minutes gone in this match. 45 minutes left to go. That's the way the time works. Leave me alone. You're not my real dad. 82nd going to try and push back into the hard point, but ITK looking very strong on Pierre's farm now. We're going to see this cap.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm fairly certain that this will flip here momentarily in favor of ITK. I think they did a good job. They took out the main garrison on the hard cap with that bombing run. Infantry fighting over the point. They made some progress on the east side, and then you just throw a Panzer IV in there, and that's all you need to do, and the point's yours. You've cleared out the spawns. You've done what you need to do. It's a great effort. It's been a long effort. 82nd were set up really, really well here in the beginning of the map, but just little by little, ITK taking back that ground, and now they're getting rewarded for it. And I'm sure once we see the map flip here, we'll take a look at the spawn setup of the OPs and garrisons for 82nd AD.
And there goes.
That is going to be 3-2. Yeah. Wow.
Not much
this
is the answer to that.
interesting.
This could be huge. Cattle sheds is starting to go. Is starting to flip towards ITK as well. Just the one garrison. Back in the H4 column, H4 square. So look, 82nd, you start scrambling now, don't you? Because you're starting to lose cattle sheds. Let's get back in and have a look at that.
A bit of an issue. Yeah, and here's the decision for ITK. Do you go full commit? Do you go for the Zerg rush? And it looks like they are. Infantry just starting to funnel into cattle sheds. This is going to be problematic for 82nd AD. You know, do you spawn off the garrison? I saw there were a couple of vehicles coming in from their HQ. Maybe they got a couple of SLs to get some OPs down. Maybe the support there to try to build a garrison to try to stop this. But ITK in a strong position to just leapfrog this and make it a very quick 4-1. What a turn of events here at the midpoint of the match.
Huge. The 45-minute fight we saw over Pierre's farm over the start of this match, I would never have expected to flick that quickly. We've got a little bit of armor coming in. Let's go see whose this is. This is the 76, crewed by Siege, Joisty, and Freakin. They're going to try and get back into cattle sheds to try and shore it up. That said, they've just got cahoots. Just that one squad leader sitting down there. They don't have infantry to try and hold this one. And
What ITK does have is, sorry, really quickly, it looks like, was that an airhead that just went down on the wheat field?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Right there in the corner, I think, where this tank is pushing up, this ITK tank. Or is that whatever tank that is? I think there's an airhead right in the corner of that field. Unless it just got taken out, which is a possibility, but that was a red parachute there.
Oh, I did miss that one. That's the 76. It looks like the assault lad is going to try and get his cheeky little satchel down on that 76. It is going to be defended. It is starting to be defended by 82nd, so it does look like they've done very well to get back. They are starting to flood into cattle sheds now, trying to shore up that defense. Look, great composure from that side. I love watching this. Cast the curse on the MG right there. Damn straight, Eddie. I know that was 30 minutes in the past, but I'm going to read chat for no good reason. Shut up. I may have had too many shoeies on the stream today.
Some news in for the seasonal games.
Yep.
FOC
Oh, yes.
have won their game on Utah Beach against KRT.
Ooh.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that
Knights
was
of the
a
Round Table
very,
going
very
down.
early match. Yeah.
There you go.
Ah, I say early match. I'm here in North America, but obviously there's more than one time zone in the world. But here in the States, yeah, that is quite an early match for us. But FOC always been a very, very strong team. I believe this is their second seasonal. I may be wrong, second or third. But no, that's another team that is definitely a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to underestimate that team. They performed very well, and I may be wrong on this. I believe I may have casted this match. They may hold the record for the fastest comp match, which I believe was
really?
11 minutes and 47 seconds. It was quite a quick match. That was a very easy day getting ready for, or for that stream, but
So I know
but that was a very quick match.
I was watching Chimera play during last season, and they had a very quick match against Easy. And I don't know about you, I was talking to some of the lads. They don't like it either. Like, it sounds good when you win that quickly because you go, oh, yeah, we're just that good, right? But you spend all week trying to prep for a match. You spend all week getting 50 lads together, getting all your shit together, and then the match goes that quickly. It feels a little bit disappointing sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's all that work for a couple minutes of fun, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, in the tournament, a win is a win. You know, score doesn't matter, time doesn't matter. But yeah, I agree. If you spend all that time prepping for a match, you're maybe hoping for something a little longer. There's some sort of analogy there. There's some sort of innuendo there that I'm sure you can make, or some sort of comparison. But you get the idea.
100% there is. I love a bit of innuendo around here. Oh, was that out loud? Yep, good. We're just watching this 80-second defense. I'll tell you what, look, even though they didn't cap it, this ITK push that they had nice and early on cattle sheds, they've obviously got their spawn points up. They're starting to really envelop this cattle sheds point. 82nd have a long way to go to try and push them out of this. They have started to establish their battle line out towards the east and the left of their battle line here. Big spawn wave we've just seen going in there, so fair play to those lads. It really has sort of mixed up this match. That cap and almost secondary cap of cattle sheds by ITK, very well played from them. They're playing one hell of an aggressive style of Hell Let Loose. I'm loving this one so far.
It's crazy to see just how much ground ITK have taken in the last 5 minutes, 5 minutes or so. You know, that scramble to get back to cattle sheds, you know, they managed to save it. But as we said earlier, any sort of scramble and everyone just rushes in to save the point like that, anytime you do that, look at the rest of the map, you're going to lose a big portion of it. And that's exactly what we're seeing today.
Yeah, and look, I think it's exactly what they needed to do as well. Even without having that rush and that pile onto the cattle sheds, I don't think they were going to hold it. So, look, it's really incumbent on them now to really lock down cattle sheds and spread out to try and regain some of that sector control around the map. And I think we're starting to see them do it a little bit now, which is really good.
Yeah, no, this has been a great effort from the Chinese team. They're doing really well. And even though 82nd AD were able to respond, ITK are responding right back. They're getting themselves into position, getting themselves set up on these points or these sections of the map that are necessary to start a new attack. And so this set of buildings here, forgive me, I don't know the callouts for this, this area, but no, this is where they need to be right now. They need to gain this ground if they do want to have another shot at cattle shed.
100%. I like this little building. I don't know whether you know this. You can get up onto that. I think if you put an OP down right here, you can jump on the OP, get up on the building, and it's a nice little lookout for looking across this field. There you go. Learn something new every day. I feel like that's not the reason people swing by this stream, but you know what? I'm going to drop some knowledge on you anyway. ITK, this is exactly what we saw them do to Pierre's farm nice and early in the game. They didn't have the point, but they just play that grinding style of Hell Let Loose. I'm loving watching this. Look, fair play to 82nd AD. They are doing some work, but ITK, I feel like, are just getting the better of them throughout most of this match. Thank you very much.
I would say for
Go
Hell
ahead.
Let Loose, for Hell Let Loose, I feel like 60 to 70% of the game, particularly in the second half, once you're past that 45-minute mark, it's all mental, really, in my opinion. Because this game can be draining, particularly if you're on the front lines, if you're meat grinding, you're dying to artillery constantly, spawning and dying, maybe getting a kill here and there. It really is a test of composure and how well you can respond to that and how you can keep cool. And this is one thing that ITK has been really good at in the last couple of games. Even when they do have these grind fests, they're able to keep their composure. They don't, start making these silly decisions, and it's paying off here in this match. And that's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And I think it's something that gets missed a lot, MrNitro, in these games, is that mental aspect. A match of Hell Let Loose can potentially go for an hour and a half. If you add into that the potentially up to sort of a couple of hours of pre-match prep these teams do, that is a long time to be able to keep your composure and keep your game face on. The fact that these guys play so well for the full distance blows my mind. I know I get a bit drained towards the end of any comp match I've ever played. I know I get a little drained towards the end of anything I've ever casted, let alone having to try to shoot people. Whew.
Oh
But
yeah, no, absolutely.
But it is that mental aspect, and look, that's on 82nd at the moment. They know they're getting pushed hard by ITK. They know they don't have any attack on Pierre's farm at the moment. And it's up to them to really try and regroup, reform that battle line, and start probing and start trying to put some pressure on this ITK side. Because after capping the point nice and early at about the 45-minute mark, this ITK side managed to take Pierre's farm back from them. And it's a scrambling defense at the moment by 82nd on Cattle Sheds. Hope you're all enjoying it. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. It is a goddamn pleasure. Heidi, please feel free to drop that Discord link as much as you like. All of you should already be in the seasonal Discord already. You already are, aren't you? There's a lot of banter there. It is genuinely well worth your time. I can't recommend it enough. Also, best place to find all the matches and all the places they're being cast. I am being joined today by MrNitro. He is one of the seasonal helpers. He is one hell of a good dude. And I'm blessed today. I feel a little bit outranked by him. But that's all right. We're going to keep calling the match. I'm just going to keep talking because that's what I do, apparently. ITK, MrNitro, this is a brutal attack from them, aren't they? Isn't it? They are pushing very hard onto this 82nd defensive Cattle Sheds.
Yeah, and they've set themselves up really well here because even if they do lose some of this ground, there's another hedge line for them to fall back to near the top of your screen.
Yep.
And they have time to recuperate. Because they almost capped Cattle Sheds there immediately after, they were able to push up extremely far. And so they've really set themselves up in a position where it's going to be tough to take all that back. It's going to take the combination of artillery, it's going to take armor, maybe a bombing run or two. But look, it's just a straight front line from east to west for ITK.
Yep.
Not sure exactly how far out they're branching out on the west or on the east. But
Let's have a
it seems like
squeeze.
the majority of their player base is here.
Yeah, it looks like they do have a few probing units out this way, just trying to cut off that 82nd flank that's they're trying to move down the eastern side of the map. 82nd really sort of using this hedge line to advantage. There is an ITK guy in the trench there. If he sticks his head up, he will be able to spot them. He's going to have to hold on to this OP. He's going to pop up now. He's not going to get the shots on in time. Gelman manages to take him down. Gelman will push up and probably take down that OP now. There he goes. Fair play to him. That's going to be 82nd, gaining a little bit more ground there. As I say that, as I panned out, every single one of them got brutally murdered. So they're not going to gain any more ground back there. They're going to keep... looks like ITK going to hold them there. ITK, though, still putting pressure on Cattle Sheds. Look, if you're the 82nd team at the moment, you're worried, aren't you? This is genuinely problematic for them. They don't have that many on the point itself, and ITK really starting to get in. This little area here, I'm just going to zoom in here. This little wheat field here is absolutely huge. The fact that ITK are managing to get in there. Now, it looks fine from the admin cam's perspective, but let me get down into a little bit of ground level action for you. This is what it looks like at the ground level. You can't see anything. If ITK can get themselves some garrisons and or OPs in there, it's going to be very difficult for this 82nd side to be able to push them out. We're coming up to about half an hour left to go in this match. Still anybody's match, but all the work to do from 82nd at the moment. They are grinding it out, but I feel like this ITK side really getting on top of them at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think they're starting to make the right moves, or 82nd, that is, are starting to make the right moves by pushing out to the west again. You want to get back to that AA network side, try to regain some of that ground, because look how many ITK players are here. It's going to be tough to take, but you really need to regain this ground to take back Pierre's. That's why it was such a point of contention for the beginning of the match. So being able to get back over there is going to be really important for them. Don't know, they have the time. They have half an hour to do so. But you really got to start coming out on top in these gunfights. Really got to start making sure you're getting these trades, keeping your OPs up, and allowing your squad to push forward here. Yeah,
100%. And especially having that attack on this right-hand side, not only does it gain you ground, like what they're doing at the moment by committing troops out there, ITK need to commit troops to defend that as well. ITK obviously identifying the flanks as somewhere that they need to keep an eye on. So if they're pushing troops back, that's fewer troops that get to push onto Cattle Sheds and cause your defensive lads problems. Looks like 82nd really starting to push out that sector control from Cattle Sheds. Well done and fair play to those guys. That said, ITK pushing around this side as well. Still wouldn't call it. Have a look at these offensive squads. What do you got, Mr. Nitro?
Yeah, and it really is all just trade-offs. You're going to gain ground here. Where are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that you gain positioning somewhere else? And it seems like this eastern side may be they may be willing to give some of that ground up, as you'll see ITK kind of pushing up there a little bit closer to that wheat field where they're trying to get into, where they've been trying to get into for quite some time. And it really is, it is a hole in the front line for 82nd AD. They're dedicating a lot of resources on that western side, which they will have to do to have a chance of taking back Pierre's, but this is really dangerous right now. If this hole continues to grow and ITK continues to spread out here, this position from east to west, they may have another chance here to make it a 4-1.
Yep, I think you're right. 82nd obviously won't know that they're that deep. Or maybe they do, because a couple of them are going down brutally. Artillery is really holding off that wheat field, identifying that they need to keep some fire there. That's most of the ITK attack. That was pushing that wheat field, has gone down, so fair play to 82nd. They're doing all right. They are pushing nice and deep up through this middle at the moment, so I feel like that's genuinely good. This squad, though, I don't like that this hole is in the middle. I feel like that's going to make it hard. Have a look at what we're looking at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the blueberries to the left and the right of your screen. That said, they do have a good field of fire on those ITK red berries that are pushing down through the middle. But that said, neither can make ground unless 82nd can plug this hole in the middle. Both of their flanking squads on this sort of ITK advance will struggle to keep pushing up. So, interested to see how it goes. I wouldn't call it from here. Cattle Sheds doesn't have a man left on it. 82nd decided that they don't need anybody deep. Look, it's probably pretty okay for them at the moment because it does look like ITK doesn't look like they have anybody in the 82nd backline at the moment. So, look, the fight's all about the flanks at the moment. Both teams recognizing that they do need to get up and around. The old hold them by the nose, punch them in the ear. Is that a thing? I don't know. What the hell am I even talking about, Mr. Nitro?
I don't know. Well, hey, different phrases for different cultures, different places. We're from quite literally opposite sides of the world. But hey, we're coming together for this match today, 82nd AD versus ITK. And here comes some more flares here in the area. Going to try to spot some of these infantry players. It looks like 82nd are doing a good job of wrapping around these forces for ITK. Yep, it's going to be helpful for them. Any players you can call back and kind of relieve some of that pressure from your front line is going to be helpful. And you know what? These players are really, really getting spread out now, which isn't a bad thing. Like we said, if you can move some of that fighting away from your main push, it's going to be good for your team. One player's going to go down for 82nd AD, going to be in a 1 versus 2 situation now.
Tivrox is going to come up against these two ITK lads, Memorial and Chin. Let's get in and have a look at what he's looking at. He knows that that squad lead just went down. He's going to cop 1 bullet before backing out. Not going to... Oh, he did take down one of those ITK lads as well. So fair play to him. Well played. Memorial is going to be the last one. What I've really liked to see, every time we've seen 82nd have these big flanks, we have always had an ITK squad or two covering it. I feel like that shows really good communication from this Chinese side. As Tivrox takes down Memorial. So they do have that. They do have that side, but he doesn't have his squad lead, so no more spawn points. And he is a little bit bot jack. Obviously, he has his he obviously has a OP down that way. There we go. And he's going to be able to spawn back and try and keep pushing up with his mate Tivrox. AA Networks, still a bit of a fight. What do you got?
Yeah, it looks like 82nd does have 1 red zone garrison. It is ever so slightly in the red zone, so that is going to be helpful for them to start getting a push going, start getting back to Pierre's. Looks like it is going to be locked out now, though, and it seems to be right below where we are.
It is. Look, I think it's just backwards and forwards fighting at the moment. There it is.
Yep.
See if I can spot this one out. There's the garrison that we're talking about, my friend. Just sort of sitting in the little trench network there. I don't know whether you know about this, but this is one of my favorite parts of any map in Hell Let Loose. I like this garden area, Mr. Nitro. It's about the only place that you see it. I feel like they made it specifically, and they put a lot of effort into it. These little sort of hedges. I kind of like it. I like fighting in there. It's just a little bit of a different
little bench there. Yeah, you know what? After you're in the middle of a battle, you're fighting for this ground. It's going back and forth. You're in the middle of a war, but you know what? Just take a minute, have a seat on the bench, admire the garden, enjoy yourself. Maybe
the war will wait.
Yeah, and then get back to it. Exactly.
It looks like ITK, we're sort of still a little bit little bit stuck in our roles in the middle here. Both sides just butting up against each other. Neither able to gain any ground. Darksaber doing a little bit of work there. Dan up on his flank. J Neil pushing up through the middle there. ITK look like they're probably starting to lose a bit of ground to 82nd now. So fair play to the Europeans. They're doing one hell of a job. Really, like I feel like it just took a little bit of time after we saw that midpoint get capped back from the middle. And they almost started to lose cattle sheds. It just took them that little bit of time to regain composure, reform the battle line, and start pushing this ITK side, which is exactly what they're doing now. We're seeing some big blobs of blueberries start moving up through towards the middle, obviously. And have a look at this flank. This is what you were talking about before, MrNitro. Have a look at these blueberries moving up on the, the eastern flank of Pierre's farm.
Right.
Obviously, ITK are aware of it. They are spawning lads back to try and deal with it, but it does mean that they do have a good amount of sector control. Beaver Bang, the commander, is going to push in just behind Alwada and Halfdan. Press F is going to get, what was that? They're a little bit of a repair station. Just in preparation for some armor moving up down this left flank, potentially. I'm not seeing it yet. There it is.
Yep.
That is the 76. It's going to be crewed by Siege. Joisty going to take a rocket. We just saw the precision strike coming in. It is going to miss.
Oh.
Obviously, when you're in a tank and you start hearing that, you start getting a little worried. Siege is going to jump out. They're going to try and get some reps on this 76 to try and keep it in the fight. We did see something exploding over here. I didn't quite see what it is. There we go. We've got the Tiger. That's going to be Rain Zev in the Axis ITK Tiger. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but that's my favorite seasonal rule this go round, MrNitro, is I love having Tigers back in the game. They make me happy.
Yeah, so for those unaware, for this edition of the seasonal, the Panther, and this was something that was voted on by teams, particularly the top 8 teams from last seasonal, a vote was made, and the Panther was banned from the seasonal. So that means we're going to see more Tiger tanks in play. It makes the tank battles a little bit more balanced, because if you have something in the game that's unbalanced, we just work on it ourselves. Let's make it a fair game for everybody. And I think most people are in agreement that banning the Panther was a great move. I love the Tiger tank. Seeing that Tiger versus 76 gameplay has been great, and it's been a lot more back and forth for these tank battles.
Oh, it's huge. And you just have some of those moments. Like we had one with GBI versus the Circle a couple of weeks ago. Watching 3 Tigers push a point is magical. There is something delicious and terrifying about it.
Yeah, no, and we've seen this a few times. So I was fortunate enough to cast a match, Refuse versus the Line. Yep. And there was one point at the end of the match where Refuse were playing as allies, I believe, but they had a tank squadron. It was 5 tanks rolling up on the last point. Absolutely terrifying. What do you even do in that situation? So I just love watching these tank battles. It's amazing to see.
Oh, that is genuinely a worrying amount of tanks in it. As primarily a infantry player, that worries me a little bit hearing that. But I'll tell you what, MrNitro, whilst we get back to the game, 82nd really starting to push out this control again. They are pushing the front door. They are pushing the front door of Pierre's nice and deep, as we see. I think, was that the Tiger going down?
I think it was the Tiger going down.
Tiger going down, so that's going to be one less piece of armor they're going to be able to deal with. And it's going to make it a little bit easy for this 82nd crew to move back up. ITK, they have got a decent battle line going, but 82nd really starting to push them across the board now. This has been delicious play from this 82nd side. ITK, after retaking the point nice and early, obviously, the way this match has gone, there was a nice early cap from 82nd, a grind fest for about the first 45 minutes before we saw ITK taking down Pierre's farm from them, and almost capping cattle sheds as well. 82nd have managed to show a lot of composure and have started to fight back against this ITK Chinese side. So look, props to both sides. We're seeing some great hell let loose here, and I'm loving every goddamn minute of it. I don't know about you, MrNitro. I am so privileged every time. I feel so privileged every time I get to cast one of these swings. It genuinely makes me happy.
Oh, absolutely. With teams, when you get to this level, there's a lot of teams in seasonal. You have teams that are very, very well established. You have your WTH. You have 82nd AD. And there are a lot of teams that have been around for a long time. And then you see a team like ITK come in. It's their first seasonal, and they're having such a great showing so far. Managing to retake the point, managing to almost cap the 4th point, and then you have 82nd with all their experience coming back, starting to gain back some of that ground, starting to creep back into Pierre's. This is peak hell let loose, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And that's why Seasonal is like the premier Hell Let Loose tournament. We get to see this. We get to see both of these different styles play up against each other. There's nowhere else I'd rather be right now. And I appreciate you getting out of bed nice and early to come cups with me, Mr. Nitro. It is always a pleasure to have you around here, my friend.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate you having me. Always happy to join you for a cast here, and hoping to do a couple more here in the near future. But looking at the bottom of your screen, looks like that 76 is going to be forced to pull back a little bit. They did eat a rocket to the face. Looks like that AT player did go down, though. It cost him his life. Rocket to the front, not the most devastating for 76, obviously, but hey, like I said before, if you can make the tanker afraid, that's all you need to do sometimes.
Yeah, and that's all they've done is like really make that tank worry that they can't push up without infantry. That said, I'd like to see it be a little more aggressive here. Really start to push up and support their infantry. If they can use it as a bit of a sledgehammer to push through this ITK line, they'll find themselves in a very good spot, as we see it doing exactly what I said and moving forward, starting to shoot some of that ITK. Still anybody's game, but 82nd do have a lot of work to do. Goddamn, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the map. Let's see what this 82nd side is doing. We're seeing that real honeycomb approach to the garrisons. Both they act as a bit of a lighthouse to show you where you've got enemy troops moving in behind. So they'll be pretty happy that none of them are flashing red at the moment. And have a look at that battle line from 82nd. They are really starting to gain control over this map. Good luck to them. I think they're playing one hell of a game of Hell Let Loose. ITK. They're starting to defend a little bit deeper, and I think most of that is this offensive pressure that we're seeing from 82nd. So look, props to them. ITK playing a very good game, but 82nd starting to beat the Chinese team at their game now by really grinding out these middle sections and grinding out this battle line. They're starting to win a few gunfights, and I feel like they're doing really well. So look, I wouldn't call this match from here. I would absolutely not call this map, but I feel like 3-2 coming up to just under 20 minutes gone in this match. ITK just on top.
Yeah, no, ITK definitely on top right now. They are still continuing to lose ground. It is starting to get a little bit concerning for them. But here's the thing. The time is starting to become a factor. With 19 minutes left in the match, you, in my opinion, you have maybe 2 opportunities for a big push if you're 82nd AD. Maybe you try to combo a bombing run, try to clear out this front line here from east to west. Try to gain back some of that ground, get your armor in there. That east side is going to be really important for them to take if they do want to get back Pierre's. But look at the artillery markers coming down now. On your screen, that yellow marker, that's going to be coming in here shortly for that infantry. So this may be their first opportunity to maybe try to get that midpoint back.
And that's a very good point, Mr. Nitro, that you bring up. I love watching that close support artillery for with the infantry. Just sort of more like a creeping barrage, you know? Good artillery having good effect on the infantry that we're seeing now. And then we see the infantry push up to take advantage of it. ITK, though, they're not going to be fussed by it. They're going to keep pushing through, and they're going to start taking a little bit of ground back there. Let's have a look out towards the eastern side. Looks like ITK have identified it as a threat, and they're going to start pushing back up here. I'm not seeing that 76, so it potentially might have got dealt with.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing that either. Not sure where exactly that may have gone. I do see, is that a garrison on the other side of the hedge there, but next to press F there on the right side?
It is.
82nd garrison? Okay.
That's
so
the 82nd go.
Yep. Yeah, going to be in a good position to attack here. Try to get your OPs up maybe off that garrison. Yeah, and there's an OP spawn right there. A bit out in the open for me, but hey, if you got the 76 in front of you, you're going to feel a little more secure about that spawn.
100%. Having that big bulk of armor there. What do you got, Mr. Winchell?
I was saying the fact that they got the repair stations built back there, at least one of them. They got a blueprint down for another one, so if that 76 does need it, he can quickly retreat and keep laying down that fight.
Dude, 100%. I feel like we saw that during the GBI match that Noppers cast last week, and we saw the 3 repair stations sitting in a bunker. It almost makes this 76 invincible, having that many repair stations go. You feel safe as a tanker knowing you've got somebody to fall back to. That's our friend of the stream, Colstad. We do have a point of view. We're not switching to it because it did get a bit janky. We did see him kill the commander, though. He's going to die from a grenade, so I'm glad I didn't switch over to him. That is the commentator's curse. Gem from 82nd AD is going to be the bulk of this. Miko is going to be the AT soldier. I wonder whether he's got the rocket or the satchel.
Looks like
he's going to put down some mine.
18 mine. Okay.
Just sort of.
Always a good call.
Ooh, well, you don't catch this enough in casts, I swear. And it's hard to pick when somebody's putting down. Just not happy with his spot. Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, but he's got to turn around. Jim got behind him.
Jim, they're just like ships. Kolstad's going to go straight past as well.
Oh, I think he might catch Kolstad here. He's going to catch one. Not sure if Jem... Oh, Jem goes down as well. Ooh.
Oh, I feel like they just didn't have... They just didn't have the awareness there. But hey, like, all credit to this ITK side. They were looking the right way where 82nd wasn't. I feel like that was very good play. Still looking at this grind fest out towards the middle of the map. Just going to get out towards the west and see how that is playing out for both sides. Looks like 82nd, good bunch of troops out this side. They are going to start winning out this side, but have a look at those red berries. ITK obviously identifying, as we have as casters, that this western side is going to be crucial to the defense of Pierre's farm. We're seeing cattle sheds just flip a little bit there. Have a look at that.
Oh,
ITK. This is exactly how they took Pierre's farm. They really put that pressure on the flanks and then smashed it out through the middle.
That gap there in the front door. Yeah, no. It looks like there's going to be an immediate response. A couple of players spawning in the middle there. Not sure if they have a garrison inside one of those barns, but yeah, no, that front door, we've seen this a couple of times where 82nd has put a little bit too much effort on your flanks and then you just leave that gap in the middle. And ITK are taking advantage of it. They know what they're doing here. 82nd, though, with a good response. Look at the infantry markers coming down, so they are aware. Maybe they start to be a little more conscious, of that hole, and to maybe start to respond a little bit better.
Well, I feel like given there's this like large amount of cover pushing up here, there are a couple open fields, but you do have those hedgerows. I feel like they really need to close up that battle line and really start pushing ITK out, because otherwise they're going to lose cattle sheds and have a look at those spawn waves coming back. That is a little bit of a panic spawn back, I think. But look, credit to them. I think they needed to. Look, I know they've lost a little bit of ground, but they really need to compose themselves, push out this battle line, believe in your players, and start pushing back this ITK side. Start getting that sector control. As we see a spawn wave from ITK, that is way too close for comfort. It looks like it's just going to be an ITK OP there. Ripper's up on his flank. Zooman, Konig is going to go down there. Gelman and Janelle and Rip's going to get that kill. Well done. 82nd really starting to deal with this. Smoke going down, so look, all credit to them. Since 98 is going to do a little bit of murder. I can't see whether or not that OP's been taken down yet, but Since is going to go down. Dan's going to keep pushing up. They're going to take that OP. Surely. There we go. We just saw it go down there. So, look, really pushing back, and good composure from this 82nd side. Exactly what they needed to do. Spawn back, plug the hole, keep pushing. Hope that your flanks are still pushing up. That said, they're being ground to a halt a little bit here after taking a little more ground out towards this eastern side. They are starting to move up onto this eastern side of Pierre's farm. ITK starting to lose a few lads, but have a look at that spawn wave. Kolstad, our man, they're really grinding this out. If they can get up around there, obviously Pierre's farm is going to be a little bit of trouble. I'll tell you what they are doing as well, though. They have some spawn waves out this side. Awada and Halfdan really sort of moving back towards here. Awada, put a couple of smokes down. I don't think that's going to be enough smokes to get across the entire field, my guy.
Not across the entire field, but if he can get a pick here off this glider, maybe he can get there. Not a whole lot of coverage right now, it seems. There is an MG off kind of on the top right side of your screen, but I don't know if they're covering this exact angle. He is going to just get down, get the victory crawl going. You're seeing the bullets. Oh, and not going to be successful this time.
Oh, it was always going to happen. Welcome anybody else that's joining the stream. It is a pleasure to have you. Thank you for all the follows, all the bits. You guys are just genuinely amazing. I can't say enough about you guys. I will never hear anybody say anything bad about anybody who's ever hung out in this stream. 82nd, have a look at that sector control they've got, pushing out from cattle sheds now. It's go time, lads. We're just under 13 minutes left to go in this match. They know they have to push Pierre's farm. They need to win it now. This is your time, 82nd. Do you push the Hail Mary play now, or do you hold it off a little bit? Do you do the bombing around Airhead, the old pub special, or do you hold it off for a little bit later? Interested to see. Let's have a look back on Pierre's farm itself. There are a few ITK lads. Looks like they do have that backstop going, but have a look at those blueberries moving into Pierre's itself. ITK in a little bit of trouble. 82nd playing exactly the way they should be, just putting that pressure on both sides and across the entire battle line. Fair play to them. They're playing one hell of a style of Hell Let Loose at the moment. Still not going to call it anybody's way. Cattle sheds is being contested. Let's get back over there and have a look. Jesus, it's about now that I wish I had both of these. And that is just... I wish I had both cameras now so I could flick over to it. But we are seeing a little bit of ITK in the 82nd backline. That'll cause them a little bit of concern. They do know they need to get some lads onto cattle sheds. But fair play to ITK getting those lads back around the backside of cattle sheds. Dog's going to be out in the field there. He's just pushing around, just sort of sweeping, seeing whether he can find any of these ITK lads that are causing him a bit of trouble. He is pushing straight back to cattle sheds now, though. Obviously, he was sweeping before, but now he's identified that he needs to get back. They need bodies on the point to try and defend that. We can see that they don't. That what the job he was doing in the back lines was absolutely crucial. That said, admin cam. It's the joys of admin cam, ladies and gentlemen, as we come up towards 11 minutes to go in this. Still anybody's game. 82nd making a big push on Pierre's now. ITK, they do have that spread out defense, really sort of holding every hedgerow and making sure that every bit of their infantry has all the information they need. Good Lord. What a match of Hell Let Loose, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying it because I'm enjoying bringing it to you. MrNitro, this is one hell of a match. I was not expecting this one to go the full distance. I thought we were going to see a 5-0. I just felt it in my waters. I was wrong, and I'm glad that I'm wrong.
Well, you know what? What we are going to see is 82nd AD start to recap Pierre's farm. Again, there's that slow, methodical push to get back onto the point. ITK going to respond immediately. A lot of players on this hard cap. This is where it's time to start nailing the artillery in that hard cap, or at least in the field to the southwest of that. It's time to get the bomber run going. It's time to get your armor ready and make sure your communication is clear. With 10 minutes left, any mistake here is absolutely devastating. You got to make sure you're playing this right. ITK are putting all of their eggs in the defensive basket, because look at the point starting to flash once again, starting to be contested. It's going to go back and forth. It's going to be a close game. This eastern side is going to be huge here. Not a lot of 82nd AD players in the area to try to defend it, but you know what? A couple of ITK players starting to go down here.
Yep, they do have that 76 that they're really sort of working to push up this this road and this sort of line of hedgerows. This 76 has been absolutely clutch. We've seen this stay alive. I'm going to bet that that's Siege and Joys. How many times have I called out this tank for being in exactly the right spot? They're pushing up. Kolstad, friend of the stream, Kolstad. We do have a quick point of view. I think it's looking a bit janky. It's looking a bit rubbish, but you win some, you lose some. He's just been a bit of a bushwookie, holding the sort of area there. Seeing what he can see, he's going to see nothing.
Be careful. Oh yeah, you got to be really careful here, and it is going to cost him his life pushing away from that bush. Sometimes being the bushwookie just pays off. Sometimes it's just the right move. Lots of players here getting caught out in the open. Oh, and the tank shell going to get a couple of kills themselves. That's going to be great. That tank can start to move into Pierre's. Now they have the infantry support. More infantry starting to push up to make sure that they're covered. Smoke's going out in the open field, and this is their opportunity to really take this point.
And it's exactly as you called it. Bombing run going in. Is that going to be the 82nd bombing run?
What?
It's a bombing run airhead.
Oh, yeah. That is an interesting spot for an airhead. They're going to call it right on top of these ITK players. I expect that's going to go down
They've run right past it. Have they not seen those?
They haven't seen it.
Oh, no,
there
he
it
did.
is.
He does. He has moved back. That airhead's not going to help them out as much as he thinks it was. Those subs are going to be absolutely useless. Taking down the airhead now. So fair play to him. I was a little worried that they were going to be run straight past it. I'm like, how did you not hear that plane? How did you not hear that airhead going in? So 82nd, that's not going to help them out at all. I'm pretty sure that 76 is now dead down on that left-hand side. So ITK finally managing to deal with that. ITK really starting to establish some dominance down this eastern side. 82nd, they're knocking on the front door as well. Big spawn wave we've just seen down the, they've got an OP off the end of that. Wow, they did have an OP off the end of that glider, but it is going to get brutally murdered. Have a look at those body parts, ladies and gentlemen. That is far more than 82nd wanted to see in that area. I felt like they thought they were doing pretty okay. Kolstad and Lexka are going to sit there and just sort of see whether they can take out some of these ITK defenders. 82nd really pushing up down this western side as well. They're not going to give up about a fight as we're about 7.5 minutes left to go in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Still anybody's match. ITK holding the middle point, 3-2, currently going ITK's way. Dude, MrNitro, is this the part where they start to really sort of defend deep and really start to pull their leads back into the strong point? Or is it a bit early? It's sort of one of those moments. It's difficult to say as a commander, isn't it?
Well, I think what's helping ITK right now was, number one, taking out that 76 on the eastern side and destroying that airhead. 82nd AD put a lot of eggs in that basket. Losing the 76 at the same time losing that airhead is going to be huge. It's going to be costly. They lost a lot of that ground on the eastern side. That's going to allow ITK to move some of those resources out to the west. I think they're fine where they are, staying spread out, make sure that no one's slipping through the cracks, make sure no one's getting through. I think ITK are in a good position to close this one out here. 82nd, I think, missed that big opportunity there just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, losing their bombing run. I'm not sure when they get. Look, I'm sure chat will absolutely fill us in shortly, but what the cooldown is on a bombing run. But I feel like using it and wasting it up with that airhead up on that side. Probably, I think you're right. 82nd really needed to hold on to that one. So a bombing run now through Pierre's farm could be absolutely clutch, but they don't have that available to them, which is a little bit disappointing. That said,
no, unfortunately.
Yep.
Resource didn't go as planned. You know, it's going to be unavailable for quite some time. So you're going to have to rely on your infantry, rely on your armor, rely on that help from the artillery, and not a whole lot of time to get something going.
No, and it is a hard push up through the middle. Have a look at that. Where Cahoots is, just underneath that flare right there. Where Cahoots is, this is sort of the last little bit of cover before you have to break cover and move up. We've got a Tiger sitting there covering this right-hand field. I feel like that's exactly where the Tiger needs to be. Just sort of making sure that 82nd have no ability to push up through there. 82nd, a lot of work to do as we come up towards 5 minutes left to go in this match. It has been a banger so far. We've seen the middle point after initial cap from 82nd AD get flipped back towards ITK, and 82nd have been trying to take it back ever since.
Yeah, no, it has certainly been a grind for both teams. Hell Let Loose is a game of momentum a lot of the times where, you know, you really get your team going, get a good push going, you're gaining ground, you're clearing OPs, wiping squads, but all it takes is just a couple of mishaps for things to flip back on you, and then it's really hard to get back on your feet. And ITK have done a fantastic job after losing mid, after grinding that out, pushing forward, putting the pressure on Cattle Sheds, almost getting the cap on Cattle Sheds. They got about 50% of the way there. And since then, they've, for the most part, have been able to keep 82nd AD out of Pierre's farm. They had a couple of opportunities where they got close, and with just under 5 minutes left in the match now, you have one big push now, and if that doesn't succeed, I think it's GG.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's something like I've kept talking about this entire match. Every time we've seen 82nd really start to put pressure, like this sort of eastern side of the map that we're looking at now, the response from ITK has been swift and brutal. Their ability to get back and really cover these 82nd advances has been amazing. This has been great from ITK. And as you said, it's their first seasonal. It's great to see these new sides get in and really show the lads with experience, those older teams that have had many, many seasonals under their belt. It's good to see that they can play with the big boys. So 4 minutes left to go. I think it takes 2 minutes to cap a hard cap on this game mode. 2 minutes? Yep. I might be mistaken. Is it 2 or 3?
Two minutes.
That is 2 minutes. Yeah,
2 minutes. Thank you very much for filling me in.
Yeah, no, realistically, 82nd AD has about a minute and 40 seconds or so to start capturing this point, and it has to be uncontested. It has to be. So here comes the push, though, across the field from north to south. You're going to see smoke start to go down. That's a lot of smokes now in the area. Going to start to break covers. Going to start to push through this wheat field. And this is really their last chance. We'll see how it goes. Not sure where they're going to choose to lay their artillery. In fact, there's some artillery smoke coming down. Going to allow their infantry to get onto the hard cap for Pierre's. Look at that front line from east to west.
Huge. This is a massive push. This is a massive push from 82nd. If they can take this in under 5 minutes left to go in the game, this will go down in seasonal history as one of the great games. ITK desperately holding on to this one. 82nd, they are getting very deep into Pierre's farm now. Have a look at those spawn waves. Really setting up the middle. Some of those 82nd lads are going down. Starlord, friend of the stream, and he's one of our contacts for this one. He's going to make it to the wall at Pierre's. That's a huge move from him. Infantry from 82nd getting cut down. We're under 3 minutes to go. 40 seconds left for 82nd to make a dent into this ITK defense. ITK spawning everyone back. This is exactly what they needed to do. None of those flanks matter now. Don't have anybody else elsewhere. That Tiger tank's going to be huge in holding this point. I don't think 82nd can take it here. They've got 20 seconds to start the cap, and I don't think there is enough time for them to get up there.
No, simply not enough time. And all ITK needs to do to absolutely secure the win, and it seems like it's secured now, just throw the Tiger on the hard cap, get that extra cap weight, make it hard for them to push in. And with just about 7 seconds left, I think we're going to see a GG here, Stu.
I think we absolutely are. 3 seconds. We're going to go under 2 minutes now. No cap from 82nd AD. So that means this game, nothing can change from here. This game is going to go 3-2 to ITK. I would have picked it completely the other way. Obviously, we know 82nd are one hell of a Hell Let Loose team, and we've seen them play one hell of a game today. ITK, just too strong for them. We're going to keep bombing run going in. That's probably not going to make an impact to this game. As we're finishing up here, 82nd. They did they had a great last push, but it's not going to be enough. ITK coming away with a win, and that'll see them continue into the middle bracket in this seasonal competition. Whereas 82nd will go down to the lower bracket, and they'll fight for their survival in elimination matches.
That's right. So that means during week 4, ITK are going to move into the middle bracket final. The winner of that game is going to secure themselves a spot in the playoffs. And now the question is, who are they going to be playing? We don't know that answer just yet. Their opponent is either going to be Helios or STDB and KL, that alliance there. That match is happening in just about 3.5 hours time from by the time you're seeing this on stream. So we'll know who they're playing later today. On the flip side, 82nd AD is going to play the loser of Helios versus STDB KL. So both these teams, this group is staying together right now. And as you said, middle bracket, winner goes to the playoffs. In the lower bracket, 82nd AD fighting for survival in an elimination game. That game is actually going to happen in week 5 here. So they do get themselves a week off, kind of get that composure, get themselves prepared for that final game, because it's going to be huge.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stick around. We'll do a little bit of a post-match. We'll run through the scores for you, because I know somebody looks at scores. I know I don't. We'll do a little bit of a post-match disassembly of what happened here today with MrNitro. Also, it's a little bit of a tradition around here. I think a little bit of a post-match shui, celebrating the winner and commiserating the loser. There it is. That's the defeat screen for 82nd AD, going 3-2 to ITK. Let me just scroll through the scores for you. I don't know whether anybody looks at this, but hey, look, enjoy. We're going to give our upvote to
If one person
Cahoots.
wants to see it, then hey, we'll give it to you.
100%. That's the way this is going to work, MrNitro. You can just go scroll through these ones. And then get your game face on, MrNitro, because we're going to get back to our post-game screen.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Sorry, what was that, Mr. Winchell?
How did your friend of the stream go for his scores?
I didn't look. We're doing post-match.
Oh, no.
Kolstad, I guarantee you Kolstad did all right. Nitro, that was a fucking banger of a match, mate.
That was an incredible match. That's the type of Hell Let Loose game that I want to see. As a viewer, as a casual player, as someone who just wants an entertaining game, I couldn't have asked for more. We had 82nd AD getting the cap right off the bat, which is expected. When you're playing as allies, the point is Pierre's farm. It's expected for 82nd to get the cap. They had set themselves up really well in the beginning, getting that set up on the eastern side, getting pretty dang close to Cemetery, and then moving troops over to AA Network on the west side of the map.
Yep.
Unfortunately for them, it looks like ITK did a really good job of just having this slow push, getting that meat grind, getting their troops into position. And here's where we started to see the slip-ups. We saw 82nd a couple of times just kind of leave the front door open, as we said.
100%.
You spent too much time, too many resources on the flanks, and you allow ITK to kind of just walk right in.
Yeah, we got to see that.
Was the start of that. Start of their downfall, in my opinion.
We got to see that real shotgun approach from ITK, grinding out the flanks, holding 82nd away from the strong point, and just waltzing into the PS farm. We're not going to be casting Purple Heart Lane, but MrNitro, what I'm going to do is make sure everyone follows MrNitro, twitch.tv/MrNitro. Guarantee you a good time if you go over there. Guarantee you a good time. Now, I don't know, as an American, do you know what? So this is a piece of footwear, MrNitro.
Yeah, it looks like a boot, a shoe. Yeah.
This is a beverage. So what we do in Australia is we combine the beverage with the piece of footwear, like so.
Fantastic. Amazing. Incredible.
Now, normally I play the shoey song, but we're not going to play that today because of because I can't. But
right
now, I have filled you in on this, MrNitro.
Yes.
There is only, as far as I'm aware, one thing you can say at a moment like this. What's that?
Welcome to Australia, cunts!
Welcome to Australia, cunts!
Cheers. Incredible. Woo!
That one goes out to the winners,
Amazing.
ITK. That is a commiseration shoey for our mates over at 82nd AD. This has been MrNitro. This has been Seasonal Hell Let Loose. That game went 3-2. ITK taking the win over 82nd AD. Ladies and gentlemen, I finish every cast here by saying, God damn it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. If you can manage to do that, please see if you can't look after somebody else too. I'll see you guys next cast. And you know what? I'm going to goddamn look forward to it. Love you.